Act 1. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. All of a sudden, a loud bang.
You missed, like, the whole beginning, so it's okay.
That's what happened. That's where the action starts. Go ahead, carry on.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have been waiting a long time to tell this story, or what feels like a very long time. I'm making this video a little bit early, but we will be posting this video once everything has settled, hopefully. And our car was hit a little over a month ago, and it sucked. It sucked pretty bad. Like, this whole experience has just been like one headache after another.
Which is why we're about to tell you about it.
Ooh, it's like I almost want to like share this and hear other people's stories like similar to this, but I also don't want to wish this on anyone. This sucks. So before we go on, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, come back for more videos, turn that little bell notification thing on because I don't post on a regular upload schedule, and I won't. I refuse.
You know the drill.
So let's get into this. I want to set the stage a little bit. Greg had a car that was having like a faulty alternator and wiring. One day, like, he got a call from our neighbor, and she said, what, it was almost on fire? Or it smelled?
I had replaced the alternator, and it didn't fix the problem. It was parked out back, and I'm at work one day, and neighbor calls. She's like, the car smells like burning. I was like, oh, man. So I rushed home. Luckily, I don't work very far from the house, and when I got to the house, it definitely smelled like burning. There was the wiring connector to the alternator was completely melted, like it was continuing to smolder, and was just not a good situation. So I unplugged it, and it's been sitting out back ever since.
So we've been using one car, my car, and it works. Like, we both live very close to work. My mom is very helpful. She's always giving me rides. So Friday night, Greg was supposed to go down to Philly with my sister to see Podcast Live, and ended up scheduling cortisone shots for his carpal tunnel the following morning. So he didn't want to, like, they were going to stay the night, and he didn't want to kind of ruin that, so he just didn't go.
Yeah, I needed my shots ASAP because I was hurting.
Yeah, so whereas his car would have been at my sister's house overnight, and he probably would have been driving home at this time, Saturday morning at 10 a.m., our car was instead parked out front. The only car on our side of the street.
A lonely vehicle.
And, like, cars get sideswiped there a lot, but it's usually, like, just a mirror. So we even keep our mirrors in. Like, this is not something that is unheard of, but, like, how it happened to us, I haven't seen it happen like that.
It's also, like, not a narrow street. It's plenty wide enough. There's no reason for anybody to hit a vehicle on the side of it.
Right, and the speed limit is only 25. But no one goes 25 there. They fly.
25 or 35?
I'm pretty sure it's 25, but
max 35.
It's residential. It should be 25. Like, it's very much in town still. So at around 10 a.m., all of a sudden, I'm upstairs, and he's downstairs with the boy making breakfast.
Cooking eggies.
Yeah, and we hear this loud crash. Like, it was so loud. You just...
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most of you have heard of a collision take place, reasonably close by, and I immediately was like, damn it, I think that might have been mine. If there's no other, I didn't know how many cars were parked out front, but I knew the crash was close enough that chances were good. So I run to the door and throw it open, and sure enough,
our car was on the curb, and no one else was around. I mean, cars were around it, but not the person that hit it.
Yeah, I didn't even see the car that hit it, like, they were already gone.
Yeah, and so it's like a big rush outside. A couple neighbors were standing out there. People were calling. I called 911. I think someone else called 911.
It's like, I don't even know how they got out there faster than I did.
They were outside.
Yeah.
The neighbors, like the couple, they were outside. So I'm on the phone with 911, and they're asking me like a description of the vehicle, and I was going to this person and this person.
I think there were like 3 of you on the phone with the cops. That was what the problem was.
Yeah, and I kept asking, and everybody wanted to tell me like the same thing. Like, I was in the kitchen washing the dishes when I heard this bang. I was in my garden doing this, and I heard this bang. Like, I'm like, well, what did you see? Like, and no one would give me the information until I hung up the phone. Then they said, oh, it was this car. I don't remember what it even was at this point. I was like,
I think they were wrong anyway.
Yeah, probably. So an ambulance shows up like pretty quickly, and I guess they had been like in the area.
Standard operating
procedure. It was a hit and run, and nobody,
we didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Don't know about the other guy, but
yeah, thankfully no one there had been injured. So ambulance left, and we are waiting for an officer to arrive. And we have this woman pull up on the other side of the street, And she jumps out of the car and she says, I got his plate number. I got his plate number.
Like, saved. Well, at the time, we felt like it saved our ass. Like, it was what we needed. It was the license plate number, a description, everything
she was right behind
you
the guy.
would need in a case like this.
Yeah, so she'd been following behind him, saw the whole thing, saw him, like, hit the car, then, like, veer back off the road and, like, floor it. So she got close enough to get his license plate number and, like, a description of the vehicle.
And she was kind enough to come back and, like, interrupt a trip, like, to Baltimore that she was going on to see family. Like, thank you.
She's an angel.
Really, really
She's an angel.
It.
And I think then she actually started writing down, like, her stuff. Like, she was talking a little bit, but she was pretty much, like, waiting for the officer to get there to just give the information and go.
We know the drill.
Yeah. So the officer arrives. It's one at first. We're going to call him Officer Number 1. And then Officer Number 2 was a female, and she arrived a little bit later, but she was more there just to get, like, measurements of where stuff was laying on the road.
Take pictures,
and
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Crash scene investigation.
I wasn't out front. I was trying to deal with Emerson, and, like, I had to call my mom because he had to go get shots in, like, 30 minutes. It was, like, really close. So it's like, how are we going to go get you to get shots when our car, like, our vehicle's like this?
And I had to have them. Like, that's another video. I'll talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah. And Emerson was excited because, you know, police officers are there, and, like, he's just telling everybody about the accident. And so he was in his prime, but...
And, I mean, and from here on out, this is where things get a little bit screwy. Like,
I mean, as if that wasn't crappy enough. Like, so if you have a hit and run, your insurance, and, like, say your car's hit and you don't know who the other driver is, you should have insurance. It's not mandatory, so hopefully you have it for uninsured or underinsured drivers. No, that's not. It's only mandatory in a few states.
But you must have insurance.
Well, yeah, but that stuff covers, like, for hit and runs, and it doesn't affect you. If, like, how she came back and gave us the plate number, we can identify them, and then it should go on their insurance.
Right, I can file a claim with their insurance company, which I did.
Yes.
After a while.
Yeah. So at the scene of the accident, the officers, like, ran the plate number, and he's like, oh, we have a hit, and they live right down the street, so we'll go check this out. But you have to have your car tow first. And I was out back for this, but my mom was there, and she's, like, a leader of the situation. So she said, it has to go to Mark's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And the officer called the tow truck guy, said apparently that's where it was supposed to go. Like, it was his responsibility to do that because we did not call the tow truck driver. The tow truck driver came while you were getting your shots.
Yeah, I was gone. I
interacted with this tow truck driver. I gave him the keys. I said, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Seemed normal, right? It seemed normal. The officer, number 1, said he's going to be the primary officer, so from here on out, officer is him. And he said that he would normally give us a police report, but because he had this person's
he didn't have any information to give. Like, he didn't have the full story to give me, and he was going to go down to the house, see if he could locate the vehicle, get the name and all that stuff, and come back and exchange the information so that I could file this claim. I mean, that happened, I guess. Like, partially. He left, and
he went to them there, and he found the driver in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
He did not give us any information.
For a little bit.
Yeah. So Sunday goes by. Greg contacts him. He says, yes, I got in touch with this driver, but he's not the owner of the vehicle.
Right.
And the owner of the vehicle's just got back from a vacation. They got back at this point. So they're just like, just got back from a long vacation, so they'll get in touch with us tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, no, please deal with this right now.
Like,
this is our only vehicle that, it's pretty shitty. Like, I felt like he was protecting this other guy.
We'll explain why in a second.
Yeah.
So, as we learn more and more details, finally we get their names and enough information. Greg's an internet sleuth. So he figured out where they lived based off of the information, and, like, man, do they have a nice house?
Yeah.
Man, do they have a lot of property? Like,
they're doing better than we are.
Way, way, way better. And it's just kind of funny that the officer would go there. You know, this guy had a hit and run and other things, which we'll tell you about when we explain the police report, what we found out. And he just kind of, like, brushed it off. Like, oh, you got in an accident. That's okay.
Yeah. Basically, he was not helping us in any way, shape, or form. Like...
And so at this point, it's like Tuesday, we finally hear from the other vehicle's insurance company. So the way that it works is the driver didn't own the vehicle. He's old. He's super old. He's like, what, 90?
He was 90 years old.
His son owns the vehicle and has the insurance policy. And Aishinay Idway is their insurance. And they called and said that...
Well, no, I had to call them. Like, I filed a claim, and I followed up on it, like, twice. And the second time, I was like, what is happening? Like, I have no car, no rental, no nothing. And they're like, oh, we're waiting on the insured to get back to us with if he was an authorized driver, if he took the vehicle without permission.
Yes,
effectively stole it. Which, that's a whole other thing. Like, real quickly, if they don't have an exclusion clause, like, in place before an incident occurs, like, they're liable. They have to be like, this person cannot drive my vehicle under any circumstances. And if they don't have that, then they're culpable.
Yeah.
They did not want to be culpable.
They were trying to say that because they were basically just trying to blame it on this old man and make him civilly and legally, criminally and civilly responsible for it.
He wasn't allowed to take that car. How can I be responsible?
How did he have keys to it? How did he, like, this just feels like something that, I don't know, nothing felt right.
Yeah.
So I was pissed. I was pissed that this was happening, and
pissed that no one was helping us.
Yeah.
Like, we were literally stuck.
So then we get a call from my mom, and she's like, hey, the car's not at the auto body shop. And I'm like, what? My cousin works there. And she goes, yeah, it's not here. Can you call and follow up? So we
called the tow truck place.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, it's here. It's like $400 and some because storage fees and
it was almost $500 at that point.
Yeah.
For a freaking tow at that point. Like, it had only been stored there for a day or two. Like,
it was never supposed to be there in the first place. But, see, I had forgotten that police and towing companies have contracts worked out where they do stuff like this to make money. Like, why would they tow it to where I want it? Because then they can't make theirs.
Then they have to wait for the insurance company to, like, when the claim settles, to get paid then. But if they do it like this and they hold it at the lot, and then they're telling us, money. Yeah, they're like, you're gonna pay $45 per day that it sits here. So it's like, well, shit, do I get it out? Like, at this point, I don't know whose insurance is gonna cover this.
And we do not have the funds to cover this out of pocket.
Yeah, I can't get that vehicle out. Like, you can let it rack up all the bills you want. Like, I don't have that. So that was frustrating. The officer said that it wasn't him that called the tow truck, right? What did it say in the police report?
He said that he called Mike's Towing and told him to pick it up, and that's it. That was it. He never said, oh, they wanted it to go here.
Yeah.
Just said, no, yeah, go ahead and pick it up, take it to your lot.
Unreal.
Yeah.
So our car's stuck at the tow place. We don't know if the other guy's insurance is going to do this. The officer, I forgot to tell you this. This is the first time I've ever been in a hit and run. So I'm listening to what the officer tells us to do. And he said, wait till we get this information from this guy. We'll call that insurance and get a claim going. Don't contact your insurance because it might go against you. Right. I was just like, okay, well, I don't know why that would happen, but yeah, we'll wait.
Well, I knew it could go. Our rates could go up if our insurance had to pay it. That's just kind of the way it works.
But that's wrong. Like, we're not responsible for it getting hit. So we waited to not call our insurance company, and we waited until Tuesday or Wednesday.
It was a few days, and we finally.
I got frustrated.
Yeah, so much was up in the air, and hadn't been. Nothing was moving towards a resolution for a week. And nothing frustrated me more than no information being kept in the dark. And finally, you drafted up a letter or an email to our insurance agent, sent it off, and it was only once our insurance company got involved did things finally start moving.
Yeah, but they didn't get better. I mean, they started moving. So the first week, we went out and got a bike for Greg to ride to work.
And then that day or the next day?
Yeah. Then my mom, so we paid $150 for that and equipment on it and all that stuff. Then my dad came into town the next week, so he was giving us both rides to work, which was very helpful. But it was the end of the week, I think it was the Friday, that you finally were told we could get a rental through our insurance. Mm-hmm. The other guy, I guess at that point, decided that they were going to say that it was a stolen vehicle.
Yeah. From my understanding, what they do is my insurance company will now go after their insurance company to see if there actually was this exclusion clause, if that driver wasn't actually covered. I think he was, but who am I? I'm just a little old.
Or maybe he did this before and they actually did have that clause, and it's like, why wouldn't you have just said right from the gate, like, he's not a covered driver?
It took them several days for them to get back to their insurance company and be like, oh yeah, he's not a some bullshit.
So we have a rental car, but things are still not going right. Like, there's still issues here and there, and the number one issue was we still didn't have a police report. So I have relatives that are police officers. This is important. This is a big factor, but my mom likes to tell officers that...
It shouldn't be important, but somehow it became important.
Yeah. My mom likes to tell officers that she has a brother and nephews and, in the police force, because she thinks it's like this olive branch, I guess. Like, here, this is like, we're on the same team.
Yeah.
Like,
I, on the other hand...
I share nothing.
I'm very mistrustful of police officers, being as I have an extensive criminal history.
Yes.
And familiar with all the tactics that they use to jam up anyone they can.
Yep. And anything you give them can be used against you. Even if you think it's like...
Will be.
Neutral information that doesn't matter. Like, it'll be used against you. So, she shared that information just in passing, and it wasn't made a big deal at first. And, I had turned to a relative, I'm not saying who, to ask a few questions, should I be calling the insurance company?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
It was.
What am I supposed to do?
It wasn't even it wasn't like, can you give me, back, behind the scenes details about this accident? Like, it wasn't even in any of my relatives' jurisdiction. Like, they didn't work in the township that we live in.
We just wanted to remedy the situation, is all.
Yeah, I was just looking for help. And apparently... my uncle got a phone call from the officer who, like I just said, doesn't work in his jurisdiction. They work, neighboring townships, but not the same one. And he called my uncle in and said that he needed to talk to him about this. That's strange. Why? What does my uncle have anything to do with this?
Yeah. How did you even, find, where did this connection come from? How...
Well, it's either from my mom mentioning it at the time of the accident.
Yeah.
Or, officer told on himself a little bit and found it in a Facebook post of mine. So he stalked me on Facebook to find a Facebook post where I just said, I spoke with another officer and he said I needed to call my insurance company. That's all I said. That's all I said. And that could have been anyone.
Yeah, I understand doing an investigation, right? But we're the victims. So please, wasting your time investigating us and our familial connections instead of doing anything to punish the dude that took our one vehicle for no good reason other than he's 90 years old and wanted to go for a random drive.
And they have money, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's what it feels like anyway.
Yeah. Well, so my uncle said nothing, that's just my relative or whatever, because he didn't have any involvement. And I think this officer was worried because they didn't really handle the situation the best. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just be biased because I'm on the receiving end of all this garbage, but why else would he care? Because at that point, after the accident, it's the insurance company's responsibility. Once that, the police report had been filed, it was done. At this point, they even said it's a civil case. It's not a criminal case anymore because they had filed the report and it was done.
They just did everything they could to give the other party time to regroup, get their story straight, figure everything out before we were allowed to start dealing with it.
Yeah.
Which, again, our only car, it was a big deal, man. It was a big deal.
Yeah, we're low income. Had we lived anywhere else in town, that could have affected either of our jobs.
Yeah, thank God we were close.
Yeah, and don't have a commute and have a family that can drive us places. So... let's see, what else happened? We finally found out that the vehicle was totaled, and then the insurance company says you can have the rental car for 7 days after
the declaration of it's totaled, yeah.
So, they dropped the ball and forgot to tell us or something. Forgot to
send us paperwork. Yeah. Forgot to send me the paperwork so I could send the title back.
Yeah, so they extended it for a weekend, which was great. We were excited. The rental car, when we took it back, we had seen At one point, they called and put $200
They had
in your car?
I had 3 like holds of like the first one was like $100 or $50, then $200, then $100, and they were all taken back and put back on.
But they didn't show it as like something like a charge and then a deposit back in. Like it just was there and then wasn't there. So it's like, what is that? Like, and he'd be like, oh, I got $200 more in my account. I'm like, what is going on? So I took the car back and closed out the rental, and dude was like, okay, you owe us $99, and we're all good. So like, okay, cool, awesome. Went home, went to bed, woke up the next day. All of a sudden, my bank account is $446 lower than it should be, with a debit from the rental car company. I was like, he said he would call if there were any issues.
Kidding me? I was livid. Like.
That was the day before payday, and it literally hit
and all kinds of stuff.
It hit at the worst time, and it's like, well, if this overdrafts everything now because we're suddenly missing $500 less, like,
it put me negative $13.
Yeah, it was bullshit,
and it was all because the lady that worked the counter lied to me and said, you have to have this $25 a day insurance that you're going to pay out of pocket.
She didn't say you're paying it out of pocket.
No, yeah, she was just like, you have to have this. It'll be blah blah blah, and kind of like. Skated right past it. Like,
we didn't have any money when this happened. Like, we don't have money. I talked about that openly.
I had to try 3 of our cards to get a $50 deposit to get this rental car. Like,
so
this
why
lady
are we going
knew
to
I had no money.
Yeah, $25 a day is a lot. And then it's like, why would we want to pay for anything when the insurance company should be covering all of it? We don't need anything extra. We don't need anything extra.
Yeah.
If anyone knows anything about Schmertz, sorry.
It's fine.
Do you make commission if you get people to sign up for extras like that? Because I feel like that might be what happened there. You know, like how I know
the
that
upsell. I think she just upsold it and like didn't think of the repercussions. But like even after like the $200 hold or $200 charge, I called and I was like, do I have to have this? And she said yes. So I said, okay, and I was like, I guess I'll deal with this later. But
we thought that was going to be it. The 200 was going to be it then, and then they extended it, so it was like just more and more days. It was like, oh, unreal. So thankfully, I called Schmertz that day, and I talked. Well, first he went in, he called, and she was no help in the office. She's like, man,
and like I had liked renting from them. Like I had liked dealing with this girl. Like we had a decent like. This
wasn't our first time working with them. We have rented a car from them before for leisure. And so she said, well, you can call the billing department. So he called the billing department, got all the way through all of the buttons and numbers, and it said what the call. It's
a robocall to sorry, we can't help you. Click. Try again later.
So then I called, same thing happened. It said something like, sorry, we can't help you, we can address this problem right now, and just hangs up. So it did it again. And at this point I'm on fire, and like hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Like I get
about to
angry.
Go into the
yeah, I was about to go
location.
in there so that she could see me. Yeah, Bubby's snoring again. So she could see me and see Emerson and realize like, you just took our rent money. Like we had bills coming out tomorrow. Like you did this because it's an upsell. Like I swear
reason.
that why else would you sign us up for that? Like we didn't even get it the first time we rented a freaking car because I had that. I knew that our car insurance covered it.
They're just taught to sell.
Yeah. So I called again to their like whatever. I went into billing, but I went to their like general claims instead of like the exact one for the deposits. And the call took 6 minutes. They refunded and canceled the whole order. I was like, great, that's awesome, right? Well, the money comes back in 5 to 7 business days. Cool. So then we had to file on your bank card. A dispute,
the transaction.
Just so that they knew that this transaction is not valid and we don't want to be responsible for any overdrafts. On top of that, like we have a couple bills that were coming out that I'm worried.
Yeah, it messed everything up.
We still have
we're still waiting on the settlement. Well,
for your dentures, we still have to make sure that payment cleared.
We got bills,
if that didn't clear, we're gonna get hit with an overdraft or a late fee, and it's like
$40.
Yeah, and a ding on our credit score, so I'm not going to be happy if that happens.
Yeah.
But the money came back from Hertz. That was yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think
so.
But in the meantime,
last part is the title and the settlement check. That's what we're waiting for.
So I had gotten the title I read the paperwork, And it's like, you must do this absolutely perfectly. Do not mess it up in any way, shape, or form. There's no take-backsies, no do-overs, no
white
nothing.
out, no cross-outs,
so
nothing.
I'm sitting there staring at this paper like, where do I sign it? How do I fill this out?
They're confusing.
It's the pressure that this stupid piece of paper put on me was insane.
And he did it without me.
And of course I mess it up. Write the wrong address, and then I cross it out, and I write on the line below it. Screwed it up just about as good as you can screw it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I know this is not acceptable.
Yeah, and when he did it, I was angry.
You were very mad.
I wasn't mad at you, but I was angry. I was angry because it was like,
we knew it was going to
because I was like, at that point, I thought that you would have to file for another copy of your title, which takes time. And we need the settlement check so we can get another vehicle or at least do something.
Yeah. But I printed out the error form that I needed and filled it out and sent it in with the title.
Thank you to your mom, because she used to work for the DMV. She knew what form you needed.
Yeah.
So we sent it back.
Yeah, sent that in. I didn't hear anything.
They received it Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Yeah. But we never got the direct deposit. And I called on Thursday. And I was like, hey, what's the status on this? And they're like, oh, you filled out the title wrong. We need you to fill out this affidavit of correction. I was like, I sent in a form, an error form with it. Is that not good enough? No. Okay, well, we'll get that affidavit out to you today. Wait.
Overnight it. They said they're going to overnight it. Then we have to overnight it back. No, they didn't get it out that day. They got it out Friday because it came Saturday.
Yeah. So
this was at like 8 a.m. on Thursday. They could have gotten it out that day.
They got it Tuesday and knew that there was a mistake then, but waited until I called in to be like, oh, we'll do something about it. So hopefully
Wait, the best part is the form, that the affidavit that he had to fill out was the one that he included with the paperwork.
Yeah, I sent it.
He just checked
I did
the box.
Right thing.
He checked the box, and they didn't want him to check any of the boxes. They just wanted him to have the blank form with his signature.
Right. Craziness. All craziness. We have been punished over and over and over again for our car getting hit out front, parked. Like, as far as I know, this dude got driving without a license or a revoked license because he's 90. Of course he doesn't have a license.
Well,
and then careless driving.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't even get hit with careless driving.
License, wasn't it?
It was involving damage to an unattended vehicle and driving while suspended.
So his license was suspended. He didn't even have a license. Like, how is that not illegal? If I did that, I would have been going to jail.
It is illegal.
Something would have been happening. I would not have been able to just brush this off and deal with it later, and then make my insurance company say, it's not our fault. It must be nice to have money.
We would have been, had I struck a parked vehicle, I would have been taken to the hospital for a drug test, breathalyzed, probably arrested, searched, everything.
This was a serious collision. It's not just it was a light scrape.
Yeah, our car was totaled.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I don't know.
So at the time and date of this filming, we have not received the settlement check. We have the title affidavit thing back in the mail to our insurance company.
They should get it Monday.
And hopefully we will get this settlement check by Tuesday. I would hope. It's direct deposit, I would hope. So if you're seeing this video, that means we got it. I'm not posting this until we get it because I just want to make sure that we're good.
Yeah, we don't want to make anybody mad until we get our money.
Yeah.
Then they can get mad.
So yeah, that was fun. That was, that's been the last month or so more of our lives. And it has been challenging. Not having any vehicle sucks. It has sucked to share a vehicle. I thought that was bad, but holy crap, it's really, really bad when you don't have a vehicle.
I've been putting a lot of miles on my bike, which I like riding a bike. It's fun.
And we don't live close enough to the grocery store to be able to walk or even ride a bike to a grocery store. Because we could ride there, but how are we going to get all that stuff back?
Limited grocery carrying capability.
Yeah, and then I have, I qualify for SNAP benefits, and I can't do an online pickup order for Walmart. I can order my groceries online to be picked up and maybe have my mom run me out, but I can't use my SNAP benefits for that. It's just one hurdle after another, and it sucks. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess, and the lesson learned here is don't ever get your car hit.
Yeah, man. I won't park out front
I swear,
again.
If you ever park out front again, I'm going to freak. It's just not worth it. Even with insurance, we had liability insurance, we had insurance for uninsured drivers and underinsured drivers, and it's still taken over a month.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the end of this video, I guess. I don't really know how else to end it. Hopefully, well, yeah, by the time you see this, we have the settlement check, so maybe I will
That'll make
post an
me
update.
feel a little bit better,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I hope, but I'm hot, I'm red, I'm
So-
angry. It's
so
so
hot.
hot. We live in an old house. I'm just gonna complain about that like all summer. But yeah, wanted to get this video out there because it's just been so freaking frustrating,
Yeah.
and I hope you understand. If you guys have ever been in a similar situation, leave a comment, because I don't want to feel alone in this, but like I don't wish this on anyone.
Like, insurance came through, but most of the time, the concept of insurance and having to pay insurance and then it being like a pain in the ass to actually use said insurance when the time comes. America, let's do better.
Right? Why do we pay so much
we can
money?
do better.
Why do we pay so much money to just be shit on? But okay, we could keep bitching for like
But
another
it's too hot.
30 minutes.
It's too hot.
All right, bye guys.